Ascension, and don't you forget to mention, when y'all say it's your time, watch how they gotta pay attention. In the last days where they'll do anything to be mentioned. On an app designed to put your mind in prison, it's extensive. Covered in that cost your soul, I'm like surely expensive.
Moonie, man, nice to meet you, bro.
What part of the state?
Atlanta.
Oh, ATL.
ATL.
Underground, Georgia.
Yeah.
So on the way back, you know, my artists are great.
Okay.
So on the way back, you know, have a look at my art space.
Okay, I will. What's up, family? We are at the Elimina Castle.
Yeah.
Elimina Castle, man. Whew, so much history, bro. Got to get into it. Let's go. Alright, guys, as you can see, we inside. We're inside Elimina Castle. If you can see, this right here says male slaves. We gonna get this whole rundown. Like, we gonna get this thing all the way down. Y'all is amazing. Let's get into it. So we're inside. You see, Cape Coast. Yeah, I mean. Actual shackles from the trade. As you can see.
Drawing closer and it's captivating. Fulfilling purpose has been activated. Seeking his will and love is preparation. His approval, not man's affirmation. His rocks occupation met with my cooperation. Formed a lively combination. I study scripture with diligence and patience. I made the word my obligation. Made it my only foundation. Now you witnessing transformation. It's simply stimulating. Inspiration to hear his voice is stimulation. To feel his spirit give me revelation. To be his just, that's justification. And my ascension, innovation. Going higher, I can taste it. All my enemies before my table, watching me eat. Rock in attendance. I'm floating in the sky. Spraying, I'm ascending. I'm glowing in the eye. You witnessing ascension. Got my eyes on ya. To the sun and redemption. I'm falling on high. With the rock in attendance. I'm floating in the sky. Spraying, I'm ascending. I'm glowing in the eye. You witnessing ascension. Ascension, and don't you forget to mention, when y'all say it's your time, watch how they gotta pay attention. In the last days where they'll do anything to be mentioned. On an app designed to put your mind in prison, it's extensive. Covered in that cost your soul, I'm like surely expensive. The last generation where truth is apprehensive, but they reject it, say it's too offensive. Knowledgeable but senseless, wiser but weaker, selfish and pretentious. Blind but love everything that say incommensurate. Birthing monsters aspiring to be like menace. Father,
historic for the slave trade. Like everything came through here. Before they got sent out to the rest of the world. Yeah, but is that the female?
No, this one is different. This
That's the
one is
queen
Nana
mother.
Kosia Chiba,
Okay.
queen mother of Tetenkasi. This one is different, but this one, the one who was the first one was a female.
Was a female.
So
and it was
anyone who
named after-
succeeds the female will keep on.
Oh, we'll keep the
If it is a
name.
male still, the name will be female.
Gotcha.
And these ones are queen mothers, and we have also queen mothers. You have the paramount chief and under the paramount chief. These ones are under the paramount chief. There was a priest. The name of the priest is Bartholomew de las Casas, Roman Catholic priest. He was notable among those who suggested that they should try the Africans, and they captured some Africans. These Africans were sent to Hispaniola. Today we call the place Haiti or Dominican Republic. And they saw that they were able to work, they resisted all kinds of weather. And then they were also expecting agriculture or farming. So since that time, the demand of the Africans became more and more. So I think this is a brief history. We are now starting the tour. You can ask questions. You can also take pictures as the tour goes on. Now look, these are wooden bars. All these are wooden bars. At that time, they used this one, iron bars. So there's no way a slave can escape. But because the castle is very close to the ocean, the original ones are getting rusty, so all of them have been replaced with wood. So wherever you see wood like this, they were using these ones. Now, when you look on the floor, the clothes that you see, these are not the original ones. There was a program here. It was held on 3rd July 2015. And the title for the program is The Return of the Slaves. That's the title given. So many people came here. Some from America, UK, Canada, Nigeria, Togo, so many places. Some Ghanaians were part. They slept in this dungeon for one night just to have a feel of how the captives felt when they were in the dungeons. And we even left very late. When we came the next day, security told us that after the program, some of them fell sick and they were rushed to the hospital. So you can picture how it was when the real thing was going on. So this is what they used to cover themselves. Now, upon all these things that they were doing, some of them were Christians. So in this castle, there are two churches. You enter the museum. The museum used to be the first Christian church the Portuguese built in this country. It's a Catholic church. But the Portuguese were Catholics. When Dutch took over, Dutch were not Catholics. They were Protestants. So they didn't see that church as their own, and rather they built their own church, ironically, on top of this dungeon. So they were worshiping God up. Human beings were down, crying for help. So we have two churches. And there were chains connected. And according to the history, when the Europeans came, only the men came here without their wives. So some of them were raping the women. And I learned some of the male slaves were also sodomites. There were soldiers here, missionaries, merchants, governor and governor's assistants. So those who refused to be raped, those who tried to escape, and those who were very strong and fighting the masters to be released were brought here. So it will be chained to the leg. And the person stands here whether there is rain or sunshine. So for the women, punishment came in a form of public humiliation. At that time, no food, no water. When they see that, you are very weak, and then you will be released. They did that just to break the spirits of the rest of the women down. So anytime you are called to do something, quickly you have to obey. So that is the purpose of this channel. Now let's have a look. water reservoir. They connected pipes like this one right on top of the building. And whenever it rains, it passes through. The water was filtered over there, and clean one will be harvested here. This covers the whole floor, the entire floor. So we are all standing on it. And when it is full, we have 20,000 gallons of water for domestic use only. Look, this is the balcony. According to the history, anytime the governor of the castle wants to rape one of the women, according to the history, that is where he stands. And some of the women will be assembled as we are, and the governor chooses the one he likes. Now, they have to fetch water for the one chosen by the governor to wash down. Maybe the person might have been in the dungeon for so long without taking her bath. And after the humiliation, they have to force the woman to climb the stairs that you see over there. Let me show you. Yeah, so the selected woman will be forced to climb this. There's a trap door on top. They have to open it and up the door to the governor's bedroom. And after the rape, the woman still comes back as a slave. And because of what happened, they said a lot of them got pregnant. And those who were found pregnant were freed because no one will buy a pregnant slave. But the slaves were not from Ghana alone. Some of them from Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Togo, Mali, Burkina Faso. Ghana was like a hub. That's why they built 3 castles and a lot of forts. Apart from Ghana, there's a castle in Senegal. It's an island, so we call it Goree Island. When you go to Mombasa in Kenya, there's a fort there called Fort Jesus. Nigeria, we have Badagry slave market. The same Nigeria, we have Calabar slave market. So those who were found pregnant and were freed, some of them could not trace their origin. When they gave birth, the children were light-skinned. So they saw the children to be their own. So later, they built houses outside the castle for those who got pregnant. And then they brought the children here. And those children were educated. They were not slaves. That's why today, in Ghana, it is common to hear names like Van der Poel. We have Van Dyke, Viella, De Geer. We have Vroom, Da Costa, Smith, Duncan, Johnson, Blanson, Dixon, and the rest of the names. All are as a result of the coming of the Now, among the dungeons for the female slaves, this one is the largest. All the dungeons here, this one is the largest one. And according to the history, 150 women were here. There was a door at the side closed, another door over there. So the only source of ventilation, this one, and the small one that you see at the end. And look, this is the original floor. Human beings were sleeping on the bed floor. And also, there were no toilet facilities for the slaves. Because initially they were using this as storerooms, and later all the storerooms were converted into dungeons. So they have to put buckets or containers in the dungeons for the slaves to ease themselves. So you can imagine those who were sick, like very weak, and could not get closer to the containers, will have to ease themselves. They were women, they had their menses, they were in the same condition. And they stayed here for 3 months to wait for the ships, because there were no machines. So any ship that came here used the power of the wind from America to this place or Caribbean. That's why a lot of them died. According to the history, when you die, they carry the body and then they throw it into the sea. But when you go to the Elimina Township, there's a cemetery in our local language we call Agrofesium, but in English it's Dutch cemetery. So Dutch were burying their own people, but the custodians of the land were drawn into the sea. Any questions?
Ascension. Glory to your name. Hallelujah. Look.